It's Friday the 13th, you guys, in October. Before my birthday is a good day today. It was like any other day. I stayed at home where it's safe. How's everybody doing? Ooh, it's spookier. You guys, I love this time of year. I'm so hyped. The leaves are changing, air is getting cool and crisp. Everything is pumpkin spice. Don't come at me for my pumpkin spice. Listen, to each their own. All the decorations are coming out. I love it. I am like, just every day is my happy place. Let me say hello to everybody. I saw Sarah Locklear in here first. I'm excited. Tonight's topic is Friday the 13th, the origins. Why is the number 13 considered bad? Y'all, the amount of tabs I have pulled up, I think this is the most tabs I've ever had open for a stream. My my wifey Death, thank you for dropping the links. I know she's bouncing back and forth between Melinda and myself. Skeeter, we're gonna cover some Skeeter first. Y'all, he made it through to the next round. Yes, Skeet, you got this. We got you. You're gonna do this. You're gonna finish in first place. I have no doubt. My other Sarah, Sarah K. Frank and Beans, also known as Hammies, my YouTube's husband's Diff, my Deer's Creek native girl, Jessica MG, and I'm sure more people will find their way in. I know Belinda's still going, and ooh, she over there doing the Lord's work. Shout out Belinda. This is a Hillbilly Stand channel. Yes, quarterfinals start Monday, which is a perfect day because Monday is my actual birthday. But we'll be here on Sunday for my celebratory birthday stream. Skeet, you're welcome to come hang out or come up. I know you're super busy, so you let me know. Whatever's totally fine, my dude. Yeah, I always loved Friday the 13th. I was never like I saw some people on Twitter were like, everybody be careful tomorrow. And somebody else is like, why? What's tomorrow? And they're like, it's Friday the 13th. And I know there was some other like stuff going on. I'm not going to get political, but yeah. So I think it's a great day. Fun fact, even though I don't like Taylor Swift, her favorite number is 13. Oh, congratulations, Sarah Locklear. Sarah Locklear got approved for memberships. Fun. If you need any help making like member emojis, let me know. I can help you out. There's an app called Canva. It's spelled Canva. I highly recommend getting that app if you don't already use it. It's amazing to I make all of my stuff on there. It's the best. You know what, Creek, you are right. Creek is all about Mariah Carey is thawing out as we speak. That fucking meme you sent. I died. Mariah Carey and Michael Bublé are thawing out just in time for Christmas. Oh, I can't use the Photoshop diffs. I can't. I can't. I'm lucky I've self-taught like as much as I have. I use Filmora Wondershare to like make my little intro edits and stuff, and I'm like base level, but I'm learning. I'm learning. When the mood strikes and I have focus, I'm like, let me sit down and play around and figure some stuff out. So yeah. And Skeet, when you're in the chat, feel free to drop your links. I know voting is paused because they're done with like the groups, um, and I think the next portion is he will be going up against remaining participants. Like you know how it is when they um whittle the competition down. But voting picks back up on Monday, and we will all start our voting again. You get one free daily vote. You can purchase more, and I believe it does go towards charity to help, is it children with cancer, I think? So it goes for a good cause. And of course, we love Skeeter. Yeah, we're going to watch his interview here, which I grabbed from his channel. Sarah K or Creek, if one of y'all want to dip into the Discord and the mod section, all of Skeeter's links, everyone's links are in there, actually, to make it easy for you guys to go and grab. I appreciate y'all. I got the best moderators. They're amazing people, amazing friends. I love them so much. Yes, pediatric cancer. Okay, amazing. And make sure you get your free daily vote, because sometimes they do have, like, buy 13 votes and you'll get credit for 26, which is great. So you're getting twice the number of votes. Skeeter's getting twice the number of votes. That's amazing. So let's dip into Skeeter. So my understanding is his local news station interviewed him as Michael Myers. I haven't watched it. I'm very excited. This is on Skeeter's channel. One of his channels, the Terror Barn channel, I believe it's on Skeet. Let me check. Sorry, no, it's on a Skeeter channel. I lie. I tell lies. I'm a lying liar mouth. So it's cool if I watch this off your channel, right, Skeet? Because otherwise I want y'all to go and like give him the view. So hold on. Yeah, Skeeter's channel. Well, at least they're getting to you on time this year. I know last year Skeeter had mentioned the newspaper or local news station did an article, but it was like after the voting has closed, so it really didn't benefit him in the cause. So this year, everything seems to be falling in place. Ooh, hold on, real quick while I'm thinking of it. We're gonna dip in before we go into the Friday the 13th stuff. We're gonna check out Skeet. But I want to dip on our friend we love, Mr. MBB333. There's a solar eclipse tomorrow. So I wanted to see what he had, and maybe I need to just do a stream where we just like go through his videos. I'm not seeing anything about the eclipse coming up tomorrow. Bummer. But again, highly recommend him. We've watched him before. He's great. He's amazing. I would love to talk to him. All right. Okay, so we are going to watch Skeeter's interview on his local news channel while people are still coming in. Again, I know Belinda's still going. If I wasn't streaming myself, that's where personally I would be, because listen, Belinda's amazing. We are friends. Does she send me pictures of her toes? She sure as fuck does. She sure fucking does. And I sent her back pictures of my dog's paws. Because nobody wants to see my feet. Like, I don't want to see my feet. I hate feet. And I will be responding to the letter she sent to the Raven Star Channel Complaint Department. My response is forthcoming. So stay tuned. Oh, I'll read her letter on stream on Sunday. Someone remind me. I'll read the letter she wrote me. I keep forgetting to read it. All right. So this is Skeeter. Michael Myers takes over a news station on Friday the 13th. All right, Skeet. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Winston, don't you bark. Boy. Winston has been on one today, sir. All right, here we go. Skeeter.
Well, back in March, we introduced you to Phantom Farm, a team of Miami Valley ghost hunters who documented their experience inside of an abandoned mental hospital, and that documentary is now streaming on Amazon Prime. They shared an update with...
And it's amazing, and y'all should go buy it. It's like $5. Just purchase it. Support Skeeter and his team. It is so well done. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Look, there's our boy. Yay, Ski. Oh my God. And I believe this is his friend Tyler right here. So well done.
With us about a major convention that they will be attending. The cast will be taking part in the Tennessee Haunts and Legends Expo in Nashville. That's on October 21st at the Nashville Fairgrounds. Additionally, the film's videographer, Nathan Barnes, is a quarterfinalist in the Face of Horror competition. He shared these photos of his portfolio, which you can vote for. We'll have a link to check it out as well on WDTN.com. Now, if Nathan wins, he will receive a 2-page spread in Rue Morgue magazine and, get this, a photo shoot with Kate Hodder. Yeah, that's the person who played Jason in the Friday the 13th movies.
Welcome in,
Fittingly,
everyone.
on Friday the 13th, Brooke is very courageous right now as she is sitting down with them. Prepare to be spooked.
I think I drew the short straw because you knew I would be afraid.
Stop it. Skeeter, stop it. I love you're just sitting there all fucking casual. Like, this is what I do it's casual Friday. Skeeter, I love you so much, bro. I'm sorry. This just hit me funny. Oh, this is not what I was expecting. It's so fucking good.
Afraid. Okay, joining me now, Nathan Barnes and Tyler Terry, two local paranormal investigators and creators of the paranormal documentary Phantom Farm. Thank you so much for joining us again. We really appreciate it. And before we get into the ghost hunting, Nathan, we just mentioned that you're in that competition right now for your photography. Can you share with us a little bit about this competition and how to vote? A little help.
He says it's their second year doing.
Did she know you were going to do this? Did this reporter know, like, okay, this is the shtick? Because this is. If I would have been in this studio, I would have been crying, laughing like I am now. I would have peed myself and been like, I need 5 minutes. I'll be right back. This is amazing, Skeeter.
Doing it.
Well, welcome in, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Welcome. Thanks for being here. This is Skeeter was interviewed by his local news station. He's sitting. This is Skeeter. And this is his friend and production partner, Tyler. He's the one that edited the documentary Phantom Farm. And that bitch did it on an iPad, y'all. These guys are amazing. But did the news lady know you were gonna do this?
Their third or their second? Their second. 22,000 competitors. You can vote for free, or you can pay for votes, but a majority of that goes to, what's it called again? The B+ Foundation, which is for pediatric cancer. You just can go to faceofhorror.org and look for Nathan Barnes. He has you can follow @TerrorBarn on Twitter as well. And on X. It's called X now.
Okay, right.
And yeah, you should be able to find the information there.
This communication is amazing. John and I do this all the time.
Yeah, we've been shooting for the competition, so it's hard to, once he gets in it.
He can't get out of it. Yeah, it's
takes a
like
couple
method
days.
acting here.
Right.
Oh dear. The whole Phantom Farm cast is headed down to Tennessee for a screening at a Haunts and Legends Expo. So how does that help you gain traction for your project?
Well, I think it'll help a little, but we're really less concerned about gaining traction at this point. And this will be the first time that we've done like an expo, like gone out and been speakers. So I think it'll just be cool to actually get to interact with people. On Amazon, it's kind of has mixed reviews. A lot of people hate it. A lot of people love it. So it'll be cool to be there and actually, get to have a conversation about what they do and don't like.
And it's very specific interest. So let's talk about ghosts and paranormal activity. It's obviously Friday the 13th. A lot of people looking to try to get into this, just like the two of you. But how can you tell if this is something that you would be interested in? How do you get into this?
Well, most people that I know they had experiences when they were kids or they lost someone, and that is kind of a catalyst into it. But if you wanted to see if you have an interest, I would just, you don't have to dive into the deep end, but maybe go to a local historical center and, I don't know, leave a donation or something, because those people do really good work and they preserve old buildings and stuff. One of the ways they do that is through ghost tours. So I'm sure Dayton has plenty of ghost tours and ghost walks, they call them, where you can learn about the history of your area and if there's anything haunted there, any locations or urban legends. And if that bores you or if it scares you too much, then it's probably not for you.
That's
But
me.
right, so you'll probably know right away. Some people don't know. Some people
Okay.
show up and they think they can handle it and they can't, or they just absolutely, they're so bored. So, but if you like that, then if you go to somewhere like Ohio State Reformatory, or we went to Randolph County Infirmary for Phantom Farm, and they will actually, you can pay to go on a guided investigation with paranormal investigators. They have the tools and stuff. You can observe them and see if, you know, their techniques and see if that's something you're into. For some people, if you're really not interested, then you'd get really, you
Okay.
know, because they can be long and boring. But if you love the history and you love what they're doing, then that's a good way to keep the training wheels on before you rent a whole place to yourself and then just sleep in your van for the whole night.
Well, you two are doing some very unique and creative work, very interesting work, and we're going to put it on our website if you'd like to check that all out. Nathan Barnes and
Yay.
Tyler Terry, two local paranormal investigators and creators of the paranormal documentary Phantom Farm. So you want to check that out if you haven't. Thank you so much for being with us, both of you.
Thank you for having us.
Skeeter, you talked entirely too much during that interview. Tyler could not get a word in edgewise. All right, we're going to close that tab because I have like 50,035,000 fucking tabs open for this stream. Oh my God. And I'm up here by myself. Anywho. Yay. Congratulations, Skeeter. Good job. I am so freaking glad to see that your local news is supporting you. Oh, you were only Skeeter said we were only supposed to have 3 minutes and we took 5, but I stayed in character so Tyler could have the floor. Aw, that was amazing. Oh, Tank Girl's Pet Dragon, The Addict's Basement, Diff, Capricorn, New Jersey, Unprotected Lex, My Sweet Death, Cubs by Julie. Let me say hi to everybody. Veracity Bullet, sweetie, how you doing? Good to see you again. My Creek, the Dude Brothers, Kitty 1838, Jessica MG. Welcome in, everybody. If I missed you, I am so sorry, so sorry. Oh, well done. I am so excited. You're sweating your ass off. Those studio lights those stage lights or studio lights are so hot. I did like drama in high school. I was like, I didn't act. I was too shy, believe it or not, me of all people. But I was like on the prop department. So I would like help the sets and change stuff out in between scenes. And those lights are so fucking hot. I mean, I'm just going to put Lex's comment up there on the screen. No lies detected. All right. So, how many of you, right? Like, we're not going to do like a poll or anything. You just throw it in the chat. I'm curious to know because this is interactive here. We're here for discussions and whatnots and everything. If you're not in my Discord, it's a great place to hang out and chat. How many of you are like superstitious or feel that Friday the 13th is like a bad day? Because I love it. I've always loved it. Again, I grew up in Chicago. My mother grew up around a suburb of Chicago called Worth. Don't like how much is this worth? And Mary Worth is one of the origins or considered like in that area the origin of like Bloody Mary. I think she's seen along the roadway at night. I think she like died in can't remember what the legend is around her. I need to do like a Chicagoland spooky story of like all the stuff I grew up with up to and including John Wayne Gacy because like I said, My maternal grandmother was one of the people that used to call and complain about the stench coming from his house because there were dead bodies under it. Shifty! How are you doing? My effervescent, sparkly human. How you doing, Shift? Yeah, yes, you have nuzzles. Oh, no, I didn't. Illyria says my sister got married on Friday the 13th, and that pretty much sums up our family. So I've got some Wikipedia stuff pulled up. I've got quite a few videos. So let's skim through because, again, YouTube parameters, all that fun stuff. I've got to change it up. Oh, Capricorn, New Jersey, thank you so much for your super chat. Capricorn, New Jersey, thank you again. It says, not superstitious here. I've walked under ladders, opened umbrellas indoors, and owned 2 black cats. Yes. If you listen, we're going to get serious for a minute. First and foremost, if you have a cat that is all black, this is the time of year they go missing most. There's some dark stuff, some dark people out there. Watch your children. This is the time of year children, vulnerable people go missing the most. If you don't think people ain't being snatched up off the streets for obtuse and nefarious reasons, and I know I joke by saying that, it's a factual, serious thing. Please keep an eye on your pets and your loved ones. This Halloween is a high holiday for certain unsavory groups of people. I'll say that. Sarah K, member for 2 months. I was born on Friday the 13th. I should be immune to bad luck. Sarah, you seem to be the type of person where you'll you don't have like bad luck. It's like when you locked yourself out, boom, your dad was there to, like you're that person. You always have a resolution. You know what I mean? Yes. Watch your dogs, watch your cats in general, especially if they're all black. There are, Death's cat is, I need to have Death's cat on stream and just interview him. Jesus Christ, that cat. Yes, things just fix themselves. Exactly. No, but seriously, this time of year, it is well known, and mainstream media and people can label it as whatever they want. It's a thing. It's a thing. Where do you think all these missing people, specifically children, are going, and what's being done with them and to them? I can't really talk about it on YouTube because TOS. It's a real thing, and it's hidden in plain sight. So just please look after your loved ones, especially with everything else going on in the world. Just be a little more vigilant, a little more inclined to take care of each other, check in on people. Hey, how you doing? You all right? You good? You know how we are here. You know how a burp does. Oh, I got my birth chart. I'm so fucking excited. Sunday is gonna be so much fun. Sunday's my birthday party. I'm very excited. Welcome into girl. Into the mystic. And Irma Gerd. How's everybody doing? Okay. So we're gonna read a little bit of a page. Let me make sure that's the right one. I am not doxing myself. That's great. I know I skimmed through this earlier and I found it interesting. So I was like, oh yeah, that'd be good to read. So Friday the 13th, Wikipedia. We love Wikipedia here. Okay, so let's skim through some of this. Considered an unlucky day in Western superstition. It occurs when the 13th day of the month in the Gregorian calendar falls on a Friday, which happens at least once every year, but can occur up to 3 times in the same year. Yeah, blah, blah. I don't need to know what year had what. A month has a Friday the 13th only if it begins on a Sunday. History. Unluckiness of 13. Should I try to pronounce that? Triskaidekaphobia. One source mentioned for the unlucky nature of the number 13th is a Norse myth about 12 gods having a dinner party in Valhalla. The trickster god Loki, who was not invited, arrived as the 13th guest and arranged for Thor to shoot Balder with a mistletoe-tipped arrow. Balder died and the whole earth got dark. The whole earth mourned. It was a bad, unlucky day. This major event in Norse mythology caused the number 13 to be considered unlucky. Christian associations. The superstition seems to relate to various things, like the story of Jesus' Last Supper and crucifixion, in which there were 13 individuals present in the upper room of the 13th Nisan Maundy Thursday, the night before his death on Good Friday. In conjunction with Good Friday, while there is evidence of both Friday and the number 13 being considered unlucky, there is no record of the two items being referred to as especially unlucky in conjunction before the 19th century. Fast forward to the 19th century. In France, Friday the 13th might have been associated with misfortune as early as the first half of the 19th century, so that's the 1800s. A character in the 1834 play, I don't speak French, so I'm not going to try and pronounce that, states, I was born on a Friday, December 13th, 1813, from which come all my misfortunes. An early documented reference in English occurs in H.S. Edwards' biography of Gioacchino Rossini, who died on Friday the 13th of November, 1868. Rossini was surrounded to the last by admiring friends. And if be true that, like so many Italians, he regarded Fridays as unlucky day, 13 as an unlucky number. It is remarkable that on Friday, the 13th of November, he passed away. Dissemination. It is possible the publication in 1907 of T.W. Lawson's popular novel, Friday the 13th, contributed to popularizing the superstition. In the novel, an unscrupulous broker takes advantage of the superstition to create a Wall Street panic on Friday the 13th. There's Spanish, Greek. It seems pretty much like every culture has some sort of, I don't want to go into I don't want to read too much. All right, let me catch up on chat real quick. Hey, Layla. I know, listen, Tom Hiddleston is welcome at my dinner table anytime. I love him as Loki. Like, I'm here for Loki. I always love, like, the villains or the anti-hero. Like, Dexter is one of my all-time favorite fictional characters in general across the board. It's one of my favorite TV shows, although that one season was absolute trash. And I'm sure everyone agrees with me about what season it was. And fun fact, Michael C. Hall, who played Dexter, I forget what season. Was it the 3rd and the 4th season? He had like cancer and was going through chemo, and you can tell because like his lips were always pale and his hair looked weird because it was a wig, and like filming is hard. You work long hours, late night, early, whatever. And he was going through cancer treatment and chemo and was probably working 16-hour days on a major TV production. But some people can't be bothered to attend their own kid's school board meeting. Anywho, we are all over the place and I love it. Nope, absolutely, Sarah. Listen, Sarah, I got you. We're going to fight together, girl. Sarah K, you know I got you. Yeah, see, he was I loved Snape too, and I always suspected he was like a good guy at heart. But he had to be like portrayed as the bad guy for the benefit of everybody else. I would consider Snape, I want to consider him a villain. I'd consider him a hidden hero, if that makes sense. Well, Lucifer, yeah, we're going to talk about him sometime. Okay, so let me look at some of the videos I have. And then I know Death sent me a couple of things. We're going to watch a video she sent me. Thank you for helping me. So she sent me this little blurb. The numbers in the King James Holy Bible have significant meaning that follow the number throughout the scripture. The number 13 has always been, quote unquote, an unlucky number. The number 13 is the number that represents Satan, evil, wickedness, devils, and everything vile that is connected to them. Number 13 in numerology portrays focus, independence, creativity, and a secure foundation. It is misjudged to be unlucky as it also depicts karma and tests of life. So if you are not a believer in karma, the number 13 might seem to be unlucky for you as it will make your bad karma come back to you in full circle. In ancient cultures, the number 13 represented femininity because it corresponded to the number of lunar, aka menstrual cycles in a year. 13 times 28 equals 364 days. The theory is that as the solar calendar triumphed over the lunar calendar, the number 13 became anathema. Anathema, bad. It became bad. No bueno, no good. We not like. Okay, so let me pull up my playlist that I have because there's like a few little videos, and then we're going to kind of go into like the Illuminati connection to it because there were like CIA.gov websites that came up when I looked up the number 13. And it's like confirmed there are 13 bloodlines, 13 families that run this prison planet. And it is a prison planet, by the way. And I found that to be very fucking interesting. If y'all don't think Raven ain't on at least 2, maybe like 3 government watch lists, the shit I've looked up over the years. Oh my God. No, let me dip in on the comments. Ooh, is it? I know tomorrow is there's like a specific solar eclipse. I shared there's in my Discord, there's like all the spoopy stuff. It's like conspiracies. There's one just planetary for like, like Saturn's in Uranus, like, get your chanclas straight and keep Uranus tight and all that is like our joke around here. But that's where we'll all share, different things and like the eclipses. I think most of y'all are in it. Everyone's welcome to join. My only like staunch rule, other than the basic like respect, don't go at each other, don't say nasty things, is your YouTube, what your name is on YouTube and your profile picture need to quote unquote match. But if I know it's you and you can like prove it's you, it's fine. If it doesn't, it's whatever. But I prefer, because then we know who's who in the Discord and on YouTube. If it's something completely different, you know, like some people have similar names, that's fine, because like I know it's Cat, you know. So just feel free to dip into the Discord. It's fun, it's chill. I love my Discord. And shout out to Illyria Sand. She built that Discord. I am forever grateful and thankful to you for doing that, Illyria. I love you so much. Mwah, 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 mwah. All right. So let's look at some videos. Oh no. No, 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 no. We don't. Tank Girl, we don't do that here. We don't. No. No. I agree. We don't do that here. Like I try to keep things like not political. I'll mention like a personal whatever sometime here or there, but no. That's the number one rule. Everyone's welcome to express their thoughts, viewpoints, and opinion, no matter who or what I'm talking about. Everyone needs to come respectful and understand somebody may come with an opposing viewpoint and be respectful about it, and you still may not like it, but that doesn't mean I'm going to shut that person down. This is a place of open, civil, respectful discussion. Always has been, always will be. Trust me, I'm not going to block you because you fucking disagree with me, unlike some people I'm not going to mention. Anywho, Lake Beach, Share Bear, welcome in. Yeah, no, we are. And if something is mentioned in these videos, you know, I don't think any of these are going to have that in here. I kind of skimmed through some of them, but I was limited on time. All right. So history calling. I think I pulled their videos before. So this is from a channel called History Calling. Am I sharing? I am not. Let me share my screen. All right, so this is from a channel called History Calling. I hope they don't take me down. Yay. It's Friday the 13th. Really unlucky. History of Friday the 13th. How unlucky is Friday the 13th? All right. Let's watch. Let's full screen this bad boy. All right, let's go, baby.
Hi history lovers, and welcome back to the channel where I bring you new videos every week on all aspects.
I have watched these guys before. I recognize her. Oh, I could listen to her read the phone book. I love her voice and her accent. And thank you everybody for being here. Thank you all my members, all my mods, everybody. Thank you so much. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Trust me. I have looked. So the Attic's Basement, aka Tank Girl's Pet Dragon, says, I was just posting my boundaries on that. I understand that conspiracies can also get icky like that. I just want everyone to be happy and be able to speak. By the way, you are great and I don't doubt you. I appreciate that so much. I understand what you're saying, and trust me, when I've looked into certain things, I know exactly what you're referring to and what you're speaking of. And I will do my best to present what is information that's out there that's like factual or the best to go on without delving into those areas. Trust me, there's a lot of things when I'm doing research I pass up because it gives me the ick, and I'm like, I don't like the tone of that. So definitely, I got you. And if you're on Twitter or in the Discord, always feel free to DM me, and I would love to have a conversation, because the more I learn, the better I can do. And I appreciate you, Take Girl. Thank you so much.
Aspects of the past. Today's video from History Calling is a little more whimsical than some of my others because we're going to be asking, is Friday the 13th really unlucky? And looking at the history of this famous, or rather infamous, date. Why is it associated with doom? Is there any evidence that you really should be worried about it? And what do Jesus, the Knights Templar, Geoffrey Chaucer, an Apollo space mission, and Loki from the Avengers have to do with it? Stay tuned to find out. Please remember to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel with notifications switched on so that YouTube lets you know every time I upload. You can also follow me on Instagram where my username is history.
Is that too fast or? Well, she kind of talks fast. We'll keep it at normal. That's a little bit too fast. I'm used to watching old Ronapin all pinned up.
Recalling, and there's a link for that in the description box below. The fear of Friday the 13th is so widespread nowadays that it actually has its own word, which is ironically rather terrifying to pronounce, and which comes from the Greek words for Friday and 13. If you suffer from a fear of this date, then you have a nasty case of paraskevidekatriophobia, and I don't want to hear about it in the comments if I mispronounce that, because it was hands down the worst word I've ever had to attempt for you. But where does this fear come from, and how far
Same
back can we trace it? The fear of Friday the 13th actually seems to be a combination of two other superstitions which have been melded together to form one superstition. These are a fear of the number 13 and a fear of Friday, or at least a belief that it's an unlucky day. Let's look at the number 13 first, the fear of which
I always loved Friday, especially as a kid in school when like the classroom was decorated and it was like Halloween or Thanksgiving or like the Friday before Christmas break when you got to have your Christmas party back in the day. Wasn't it the best? Like all my Gen Xers, where you at? Oh my God, it was the best. I love a Friday, and I've never been here nor there about 13. 16 is my favorite number because I'm born October 16th. So, and I resonate with the number 16, and 1 + 6 is 7. I don't know. Numerology is a thing. We're going to talk about that one day.
Which is called triskaidekaphobia, another Greek combo. This time,
yes, Death. Friday fish fry. Give me fish and chips. Like I told Steph earlier, for my birthday, I'm going to the gun range, and then I'm going out to get fried seafood and seafood boil. I'm eating fattening foods and shooting my pew pew. I am American, baby.
Time of the words for 3 and 10, plus of course the word phobia. So it literally means 3 and 10 phobia, or 13 phobia. When hunting around the internet, you'll find all sorts of explanations as to why this number is felt to be unlucky. One story is that it comes from Norse mythology.
Oh, hell yeah. What up, Loki?
And an incident involving the prankster Loki, now made famous thanks to Tom Hiddleston's portrayal of him in the Marvel Cinematic Universe films. According to the original story, Loki arrived at a dinner at Valhalla as the 13th and uninvited guest, and through his shenanigans tricked the blind god Hodor, feel free to indulge in some Game of Thrones jokes here, into killing his brother Balder, who was the favoured son of King Odin of Asgard and his wife Queen Frigg. We'll come back to this queen in a minute, by the way. Balder's death then initiated the fall of the gods, known as the Ragnarok. Again, you can see the links to the Thor films here. Another explanation given is that 13 refers to the number of guests at the Last Supper in the New Testament, eaten the day before Jesus was crucified. These guests were Jesus himself plus his 12.
So my thought goes to, so because there was a certain number of people there, like, oh, it was 13 people, it's bad. Because keep in mind, numerology goes like way back. Numerology, astrology, that's just been around for like thousands of years. So I think, that probably definitely played into it as well. And again, there's a lot that's being, all occult means is hidden. That's all the word means. There's a lot that's being kept and hidden from us about a lot of things. So just keep that in mind with stuff.
12 disciples, including the treacherous Judas Iscariot, who was supposedly the 13th guest to arrive. Having checked the Bible,
I am leaving that comment on the screen, Death. Thank you.
though, I don't see any reference to Judas arriving separately from the others, but do let me know if I've missed something. Then we have the claims of numerologists, who argue that the number 12 is perfect. Think of the 12 months of the year, 12 days of Christmas, 12 zodiac signs, and the aforementioned 12 disciples of Jesus.
And this is something I've always wondered as a kid. Who decided there were 12 months? Who decided there were 24 hours in a day? Who decided about time zones? Like, who decided this and how did we know this shit? We were walking around and didn't have fire and throwing poop at each other at one time. Where did all this shit come from? Aliens. It came from the Anunnaki. Don't at me, Hammy.
And that the number 13 is therefore unlucky because it is beyond perfection, and not in a good way. Whether you believe in it or not, this superstition has undoubtedly affected the world around us, including architecture. An article in the New York Times from June 1977 said that many, if not most, high-rise residences in New York are 13-less.
Yes. Sorry, I keep pausing so much. This architecture. Have you guys heard of the Tartarians and the supposed mud flood? And do you want me to cover it? I stayed at the Silver Queen in Virginia City one time, and it's like the two front rooms on the street are the most coveted. And the honeymoon suite is room number 13. But the numbering goes from 12, 14. So even though the honeymoon suite is room number 13, they switched 13 and 14. It's the weirdest thing. A lot of elevators in Japan, my understanding, don't have like a 13th floor. Yeah, but there's, and that doesn't make any sense to me because, okay, it's not labeled as 13. The room may not say 13. The number 13 button may not be in the elevator, but it's not like numbers in the universe suddenly decide to skip over it. There's still a 13th. That's dumb. Am I weird? I just number it.
On West End Avenue, on East 86th Street, in Greenwich Village, buildings old, buildings new, their elevators read 11, 12, 14. The fear, apparently, was that apartments on the 13th floor would be harder to rent or sell. I'd be fascinated to hear in the comments from any listener who lives in a high-rise building, whether in New York or elsewhere, if this is true in your experience. Does your building have a 13th floor? And if it doesn't, do you know how old it is? You might also be interested to know that New York's Flatiron Building and the Empire State Building do both have 13th floors, so we can be sure that not everyone buys into this fear. I've read too that the French dislike having 13 at a dinner table, but I've seen no empirical proof of that. Perhaps if I had...
Oh, did you see that text? It said apparently one of the diners will die within a year. But listen, we're all going to die. Don't be afraid of it. Embrace it, right? Treasure every day you have. When you pop out of this meat suit, you're going to go on a big adventure. Don't listen. Listen to me when I say these words. Trust me on this. I've never led you astray, have I? I haven't. Do not go into the light. It's a soul trap. You're going to go in there and you're going to shoot around and come right back down here. Do not go into the light. I told my mom that one time years ago, and she's like, well, then where the fuck am I supposed to go? Anywhere but the fucking light. It's a soul trap. I'll talk about it sometime on a members only. Just please, I never lead you guys wrong. Just trust me when I say this. And I will cover the Tartarians and the mud flood.
Have any French listeners or listeners with French connections, they can let me know if that story is true as well. There are also cases in which those who believe in the superstition will point to infamous events which have some association with the number 13 and cite them as apparent evidence of its dangers. One of the best known of these was the Apollo 13 lunar mission. This actually launched on Saturday the 11th of April 1970, albeit at 8:13 p.m.
Do y'all think we really went to the moon? Because I'm starting to question it. Do you think we went? I don't know.
but soon suffered a near catastrophic explosion whilst in space. This disaster almost killed its 3-man crew and put pay to any ideas they had of going to the moon. However, they all made it back to Earth, and so, if anything, we might say that they were incredibly lucky, rather than the reverse. There's even a hit movie starring Tom Hanks and Kevin Bacon about their experience, which I'll leave linked below for you. As for how long reasons such as these have been given as evidence for this superstition, according to Steve Rood in his book The Penguin Guide to the Superstitions of Britain and Ireland, also linked below, while mythological and biblical events may be used to support a fear of 13, it was only in the 1690s that a superstition around having that number of people at a dinner table began to appear in the documentary evidence, and only in the mid-19th century that a more widespread fear of the number started to become commonplace. People weren't generally afraid of it 2,000 years ago. The evidence has just been retroactively found and fitted to the
I know my hammy, and I knew he was going to comment that about the satellite on the buggy. oh God. Well, hold on. I got it. That's the name of GC's lunch. I can't with you. Well, yep, 96 bags of human waste. Yeah, what are they going to do with it? Exactly. Right. I'll explain it. Don't worry. Don't worry. Yep, don't go into the light. I'll explain it. I'll explain it soon.
superstition. So that takes care of the number 13. But what about Fridays? Why are they unpopular despite being the start of the weekend for most of us? And should I have chosen a different day to upload my YouTube videos? As with 13, there are numerous supposed explanations for some people's lukewarm feelings towards Fridays. Funnily enough, though, it wasn't always looked upon with suspicion. Remember King Odin's wife, Frigg, Queen of Asgard? Well, she inspired the English word Friday, it literally means day of Frigg, and was a powerful goddess of love and fertility in Norse mythology. With the coming of Christianity, though, these pagan connections were no longer popular.
There's a reason I chose Friday to do my spooky streams. Besides the whole, it's 6 weeks of Spoopy right now, but the whole Freaky Friday thing, whatever, play on the movie title and whatnot. But yeah, there's a reason I chose Friday.
And the Queen's story was altered to make her a mountain-dwelling witch who planned her upcoming evil every Friday. Returning to the Bible, Jesus was of course crucified on a Friday, though somewhat incongruously, that day is now referred to as Good Friday. I've also read some pretty ludicrous...
I've never understood that. I had to go to Catholic school for 2 years in 7th and 8th grade because the 16-year-old that was in 6th grade snuck up behind me and clotheslined me and gave me a black eye in class because I wouldn't give him my lunch. Sound familiar? So my parents sent me to Catholic school for 7th and 8th grade. And I was always getting fucking demerits and getting in trouble because I was this secular kid, right? In Catholic school, and we had like our little religion, and I went to like chapel and church and all that stuff. I even took communion a couple of times because they were like, yeah, sure, whatever, if you want. And I'd be hungry, and I'm like, that little cracker sounds tasty. But I always asked questions because and I was, like 12, 13 years old. But I was asking like legit logical questions. I wasn't trying to be rude. I wasn't trying to be disrespectful. And I would always ask, well, if Jesus was crucified on Friday, why is it Good Friday? Like, because he died and he suffered and he was tortured. And no one could ever give me a straight answer at that school. I don't know. Maybe it's good because like he ascended and became what? I don't know, man.
And utterly unsupported theories that things like Eve giving Adam the apple, their son Cain killing his brother Abel, and the Great Flood all happened on a Friday. But please pay no attention to these tall tales. Writing over 1300 years after the time of Jesus, in his most famous work, The Canterbury Tales, English author Geoffrey Chaucer said of some misfortune which had befallen his characters that, and on a Friday fell all this mischance. Then, in 1592, a pamphlet entitled Green's Groat's Worth of Wit, published in London and supposedly written by another English author, Robert Greene, included the line, "The fox made a Friday face, counterfeiting sorrow." Literary references such as these only added to the general perception that it is somehow a bad day, as did its traditional use as the Hangman's Day in Britain and later America. So we have
Oh, she did a video on Anne Boleyn. Oh, y'all know I love me some Henry VIII and his wives. Oh, might have to watch that.
established that a dislike of the number 13 and of Fridays has been around for centuries. But when did these two superstitions combine into an all-out fear of Friday the 13th? Well, the answer is not that long ago, actually. The genesis of Friday the 13th as a day of bad luck can only be traced back to the second half of the 19th century, making it all the Victorians' fault. Funnily enough, it may well have been an attempt by
If I could go back and live in any particular time period, it's the Victorian era. But I'm 50-50 on do I want to be in like London Victorian era, which I would love so much. Or do I want to be out where I'm at now in like Nevada or even more like Tombstone or, more like Wild West Victoria? I think I'd split it. I would split my time between the two. I love it. I love it so much.
a group of people to disprove the superstitions around the number 13 and Fridays, along with many others, which inadvertently gave rise to the Friday the 13th beliefs. In
That's what I figured. Don't worry, Tank Girl. If you get too spicy, we'll put you in the tent for a little bit. Hey, Gregory Schmagery, Capricorn, New Jersey. Raven, the nuns at my childhood Catholic school said, use words. The nuns at my childhood Catholic school told us it was Good Friday because his death led to his resurrection on Easter, which unlocked the gates of heaven for people to enter. That's what I was trying to say. Thank you very much. I'm totally not on my second iced pumpkin cream chai tea latte. It's become a fucking problem and Starbucks needs to take it away. It's an issue.
1882, William Fowler of New York City started a society known as the 13 Club. Its purpose was to disprove as many superstitions as it could. It had 13 members, held dinners on the 13th of a month with 13 courses, and of course, the 13 guests at the table. According to an article in the Los Angeles Herald, written to celebrate the club's 13th anniversary in 1895, at the dinners of the club, it has been a regular...
Oh, my birthday. Thank you, Gregory. My birthday is on Monday, and the celebration stream is on Sunday the 15th. It's already scheduled. Everyone, feel free to put your notifications on. It's going to be a long-ass stream. Death is hosting it, and we're going to have a bunch of people on panel and come up, and we're going to watch a bunch of different stuff. It's gonna be a long stream. It's gonna be a party. It's gonna be a good goddamn time. So feel free to hang out, stop by, whatever you want to do.
Regular custom to spill salt, to cross forks, and to break looking glasses, and its initiation fee was $1.13. More interestingly still, this article explains that the club had taken aim at the two separate superstitions surrounding 13 and Fridays, but makes no mention of there being a third fear specifically of Friday the 13th.
Nice.
Instead, in their eagerness to combat as many superstitions as possible, the club had met when it could on that date, which only occurs between 1 and 3 times in a year, by the way, but only because this allowed them to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. There doesn't seem to have been a particular fear of the combination of that day and number in earlier decades. It may well be, then, that the actions of the 13 Club accidentally made Friday the 13th a point of superstition, particularly as the popularity of the club spread and new branches of it began to meet in other cities, including London. They were successful in other areas, though, and were credited by the LA Herald with helping to encourage executions to be carried out on days other than Fridays, so that by 1895 it was no longer known as Hangman's Day. Certainly within a few
Jesus. Fucking crap. Okay.
decades of the original club's creation, the idea that this date was cursed somehow had taken on a life of its own, and soon the day was being used in all sorts of ways and blamed for all kinds of mishaps, current and historical. In 1907, author Thomas Lawson published his book entitled Friday the 13th, which only fueled the fires of suspicion further. And by 1926, the Hull Daily Mail newspaper in England could report that the crew of a French tugboat had refused to carry out their dangerous job of recovering gold from a shipwreck on Friday the 13th, and the task had therefore been put off until the fall.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine in this current day and age going into your job and being like, nope, I ain't working today, or calling in and being like, it's Friday the 13th. It's bad luck. I can't come in. Or like going to work and being like, nope, not doing that. It's bad luck. Something might happen. I mean, truth be told, you could probably get away with it, but Jesus Christ.
Following day. The paranoia around the date and its use for financial
Perhaps, T-girl, perhaps.
gains has only increased in the decades since. In 1980, the Friday the 13th horror film franchise was launched, and in 2003, Dan Brown's book, The Da Vinci Code, noted that some of the Knights Templar were arrested on Friday the 13th of October, 1307, a fact which has since been used as another piece of pseudo-evidence to support the idea that there is something wrong with the date. So fierce has the paranoia around Friday the 13th become that there have even been studies to try to establish if it affects humans in any tangible way. One oft-quoted article in the British Medical Journal from December 1993 suggested that there was a 52% higher risk of a traffic accident on that day. However, the authors freely admitted that the data sets they used were very limited, their statistical analysis was very simple, and the whole tone of the article strongly suggests.
Ooh, Lex, I assume you're having like a knee or a foot surgery of some sort. My mom had a huge bone spur. They had to like take her tendon off and reattach it. She set a record for the office, and she had a boot on. She couldn't put any weight on it for like 2 months. She had a little knee scooter. It was a lot for me, but we got through. So I hope whatever it is, it goes well and you heal quickly and you'll be okay.
That it was intended to be a bit of tongue-in-cheek fun for the BMJ's Christmas edition. They only looked at a handful of Friday the 13ths, using traffic data for a little bit of the M25 motorway and stats from some shopping centres and hospitals, then compared that data to similar data from 1 week earlier in each case. It was far from an exhaustive study, nor was it meant to be. In 2008, another report came out, this time from the Dutch Centre for Insurance Statistics. It found that there are fewer accidents, fires and thefts on Friday the 13th, though the value of goods lost on that day was slightly higher, and contrary to the BMJ article, concluded that driving is actually slightly safer. What I take from all of this is that you can argue Friday the 13th is luckier, unluckier, or just the same as any other day, depending on what evidence you want to look at, and indeed how loosely you want to define.
Yeah, there's listen, and I fully realize this with all the weird, conspiratorial, out there, paranormal, esoteric shit I'm into and I watch and read about. There is stuff, confirmation bias, right? There's stuff out there that can back up whatever your viewpoint is on something, even if it's a point of neutrality. So I'm just saying. But the things I speak on, especially when it comes to like non-scientific, non-provable stuff, I speak from a place of experience, and I'm still hesitant to talk about some of it, like how I know not to go into the light because it's a soul trap. Which is why I'm like, just trust me on that. But as I get more comfortable, I will talk about it one day. But that stuff makes me sound like I'm crazy. even though like you guys can tell I'm not. And it just it kind of overwhelms me and scares me to talk about, especially like the more personal stuff like that, but I do want to talk about it. Again, maybe we'll do members only or like a higher tier. I don't know.
Find the word evidence. There's nothing conclusive either way, and I'm certainly not worried about having my videos come out on a Friday, though I don't doubt that if this one, released on Friday the 13th of May 2022, doesn't do particularly well, people will cite that as evidence of the curse. Let me know in the comments below if you're superstitious about Friday the 13th, or indeed anything else, and if so, why. I'll be back next week with a new video, and until then, keep learning.
Yes, this will be up creek. I get copyright claimed all the time, but it's not an issue for me because I am not monetized for like views and ads. So if people copyright claim it, they might make money off of the like few views I might get. But no, it's not a copyright strike. That's different. That's why like Belinda was like, she doesn't make money that way either, especially when she plays the Hillbilly Badass song because there's a copyright to it and they claim it. So no, this will be up. I don't foresee any issues. This will be up. And I have my members only stream from last night where Death and I reacted to Nags from Christmas time of 2015. It is I think I have it. It's either private or unlisted. I may put that back up, but he said some like it's Nags. He said some unsavory stuff about certain groups of people, and it not only gave me the ick, but I really didn't want YouTube getting on my ass for it and giving me a community service guideline strike, and then I can't stream for a week, and I didn't want to fuck up my birthday stream, so I made it private. I might put it back up after. The videos we watched are on YouTube, but there seems to be something wonky where even though it's already existing on YouTube, if I use it in a stream, the AI or whatever catches it and then like the streamers get dinged for it. You know what I mean? So I've got to be I've got to be careful, and unfortunately affects what I can say, what I can show, and but it's YouTube is a platform that has terms that I have to follow. That's why I'm going to talk about all the weird shit over on Rumble. I got to figure that out one day. Yeah, I know. I might just I left it that way cuz I did send it to a few people. I might just take it down and then edit out that part and then throw it back up sometime. So, we'll see. Creek, you feel better? Please feel better. Go get some rest. Please feel better. Y'all, hearts for Creek. She is absolutely amazing. And I love her so much. I know y'all love her so much. Please get some rest and message me and let me know how you are. So it seems to be the same, the Norse, the crucifixion of Jesus, people's beliefs in it, that play from the mid 1800s. So I'm kind of disappointed. I'm kind of bummed out, bro. I thought it was going to be something like, but we haven't gone into the Knights Templar yet. Which I will say this. Yes, we're going to delve into the Illuminati, the 13 bloodlines. Which is just, names and families mentioned in that. It's just what they are. It's not an attack on anybody. It's just, there are a group of people that run this world. And guess what? It ain't us. It ain't us. I'm just saying. And it is what it is. Like, I'm not going to attack any one group of people, but I'm also not going to say this person, this family, this whatever is responsible, or like this thing happened historically, factually. Like, saying that isn't an attack on anybody. I just want to make that clear. Ooh. My friend owns an Etsy shop and her products are absolutely delightful. I've got to share her link sometime. Got vanilla pumpkin marshmallow hand and body lotion. Oh my God, you guys. No, girls don't run the world. These 13 families do. The elites do. The powers that be do. Again, what am I always saying? What kind of prison is easier to keep people in? One that's small and with bars and they're eating bread and drinking water and they're uncomfortable, or one where they have the illusion of freedom, right? And they're comfortable and they can do as they please. Which one is easier? Again, I'll say this. There is a spiritual war going on this planet right now. And that has no religious connotations, right? Because again, I'm always referring to energy. You can call that your spirit, your soul, your energy. It is the essence of you. It is you. It is you. It is your higher self. You as the energy you are. And how can I say this shit? It's fucking YouTube. Oh my God. There is a spiritual warfare going on. Don't get distracted. Don't get divided. And I know people can be like, we're all human. And yeah, we are. But even more so when we pop out of these bodies, regardless of what you believe or you think happens, that's especially when we're all really the same, right? Right? Some of us are older, newer. Some of us, like, I'm an older soul. I'm like, I am never coming back here. Listen, the lattes, the dogs, and the tacos were great. I'm sure that's half the reason I decided to reincarnate again. But I'm always like, don't come back. Don't come back. Just do what you can from home. This is the worst summer camp I've ever been to. All right, so let me, I can close this one. I can close this one. I'm like Frenchie up here with all these tabs. So I had some articles pulled up on this, but Death sent me this video that we're gonna watch. Or wait, let me go back to my playlist. Oh, these dizzy spells. Oh my God. You know what? Let's watch this. It's a video about the 13 distinct royal bloodlines. We're going to watch this and then we're going to see how I'm feeling. You guys, I keep getting these like hot flashes and like dizzy spells and I don't know why. And it's like always this time of night. I'm starting to suspect I might be on the fibromyalgia lupus train. I don't know. I got to talk to my doctor, but why my body freaks out. Oh, look at Yaba, so cute. Shout out Yaba. We love you, Yaba. Oh, I love my Yabs. I've been with that bitch since she was straight. I've been with Yaba so long, she was straight when I started watching her. But I love my 2 lesbian moms and my support group hoodie. And my 2 favorite lesbians live in Indiana t-shirt. I already talked to my mom. I let her know what happened with Yaba and the unfortunate situation. And we've chosen to let her fill the orders. And when she releases the Christmas scents, we're going to buy some candles then. Because I know she's getting a big wave of support. And we're of the mindset of like, that's going to die down. Let's keep that going. So, have I been putting Yaba streams on my laptop one after the other and letting them play so she gets the view and stays on the algorithm? Yes, I have. All day long, Yaba's playing on my laptop while I'm running around, leaving the house, doing whatever, because we are a supportive bunch of burbs here. So shout out Sam and Yaba. We love you. All right. The 13 distinct royal bloodlines of the Illuminati. What is this channel? Nope. Nope, that's not the one. Oh my God. Okay. Did I close it? I sure fucking did. Okay, hold on. Let me go pull that back up again. See, I had too many fucking tabs. I had too many tabs. Too many tabs. And I didn't even show anything. Wow. Look at me, professional YouTuber. See? And it's like my brain goes. I don't know. Like when I dipped out a couple of weeks ago for a little bit, it was like I felt like I was getting sick, but I didn't get sick. My joints swelled. I was like so tired. I'm just starting to get my energy back. Oh, it was a lot. All right, let me find this video she had. Or no, I found that one. God damn it. That was me. All right, hold please. Capricorn, I have to take those regularly because I am a chronic pain patient. 13 Illuminati bloodline. Oh, I hope I can find that video again. If not, we'll find the one we're supposed to. Oh, infographics. I like them, but I don't know that I trust them. Ooh, that's a long one. Okay, yeah. Here, let's watch infographics. This, I how's that? Here, let me dip in. Yep. Yeah, I also think. So you know how we talked about the Mandela effect and stuff? Things affect our energy, right? Whether it's planetary stuff, sometimes I think just go on this journey with me. Things are made to happen energy-wise, reality-wise, timeline-wise, and it affects us because have you ever noticed, especially like in the last 10 years, everybody is always, it's like it hits everybody at once. Everybody's tired. Nobody can sleep. Everyone's feeling weird, right? But it's like everybody, and we're all just kind of fighting through it, getting up, going about our day, but then some person will mention it. And then like the other 10 people in the vicinity will be like, "Oh my God, me too." That's weird. Why are we all tired? Why are we all getting headaches? Why are we all getting dizzy? It's an energy thing. And there's a lot of different factors that play into that. And again, one of these things I don't want to delve into too much because that's going to make me sound like a crazy person. I need to get my friend Zero up here and maybe Jonathan too. If you're listening, girl, can you come up one day? Can you come up and talk about all this stuff with me? Because She was in that group with me. Jesus Christ, I'm a hot fucking mess. All right, let's share this video about the 13 bloodlines, the most powerful families who secretly run the world. Oh, Sarah, where are you? I already heard it already started. Beyonce told us girls run the world. Not so. It is these 13 bloodlines. This is the infographics channel. I like them. I don't know how reliable their information is, but I'm trying to entertain you guys, man.
That girls run the world. But sadly, the queen bee is gravely mistaken. Throughout history, power has always been concentrated in the hands of the few, from the first tribal chieftains and their shamans.
Because remember, well, I forget which stream it was, but that one girl, all of the presidents share they all originate from the bloodline of, what was it, like Richard III or some shit. There's a fucking reason for that. There's a reason these bloodlines exist, and trust me, there's so much. There's so much. The Rothschilds, oh my. We're so rich and powerful and so bored. Let's hunt humans in the forest on the acres and acres and acres of land that we own for fun. I'm not lying. Wow.
To today's political elite. But sometimes that power has been held firmly within bloodlines, passed down from generation to generation like a very unearned inheritance. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Infographics Show. Today we're taking a look at the most powerful families in the world. 5. Rothschild family. With a name that pops up in nearly every conspiracy theory out there, it's no surprise that the Rothschilds would end up on this list. Whether they're responsible for assassinating JFK to ensure he didn't invade Cuba and thus destroy the lucrative sugar market,
100% the CIA was. 100%. You want to talk about a rogue government? God, is my stream going to get taken down for saying this? In my opinion, allegedly, that is not fact. In Minecraft, in movies, yeah, rogue.
to having secretly financed 9/11 on behalf of the aliens from Zeti Reticuli so they could eat our brains. If there's a conspiracy theory out there, chances are the Rothschilds are at the center of it. With a family history such as the Rothschilds, though, it's hard to blame conspiracy theorists. Rising from a lowly apprentice working at a small Hamburg bank, Mayer Rothschild displayed from an early age a keen interest and talent for finances. In no time at all, Mayer had made himself a prominent member of the global banking industry and would go on to install his 5 sons around the financial capitals of Europe, overseeing operations from.
That is one thing I don't quite understand, but I want to look into and learn about so I do understand it, is like how all the banking stuff works, global banking, like the Federal Reserve. Like I have an idea, but I mean, like, is that something we all are going to be like, well, let me learn about this on a Saturday morning? Screw cartoons. Like, I mean, but I do want to learn more about it because it is such an integral part of this society that's been built. And that's where a lot of the power and control comes from.
From London to Berlin, the Rothschilds helped stabilize international currencies through their lending and banking practices with individual governments. While this was generally a good thing as it kept markets stable and people employed, the Rothschilds certainly earned a very pretty penny for their charitable work. As Europe plunged along the Industrial Revolution, the Rothschilds were there to finance Europe's favorite hobby, waging horrible wars against itself. Mostly staying on the right side of history, though. The Rothschilds were quick to lend England about $10 billion in today's dollars to help finance their war effort against Napoleon Bonaparte. By this time, the Rothschilds' fortune was so vast and their financial network so elaborate that they actually received the news of Napoleon's defeat at Waterloo a full day before the British government. Such stunning displays of international power and reach have for a long time cast the Rothschilds under extreme suspicion, and they've throughout history been blamed for pretty much every major war or other catastrophe.
What must that be like? What must that be like to be born into any family where you don't have to worry about money? You don't have to worry about where you're going to live, where your next meal comes from. You don't have to worry about growing out of your shoes because your mom and dad can't afford a new pair. My brother couldn't go to school once because he had no shoes. And it was like a Wednesday. And my parents didn't get paid till Friday. And I had to go tell his teacher, like, my brother can't come because, like, my parents are too poor to buy him shoes and he doesn't have any shoes to wear to come to school. Can I get his homework? So, what must that be like to grow up so incredibly rich? You know that your children's children are going to be well taken care of. I'd be real fat because I'd be like in and out, Starbucks, yes, please.
Catastrophe, often portrayed as nothing more than money-hungry and evil to the point of profiteering from human misery. The truth, however, is that the Rothschilds were simply a family extraordinarily gifted in the world of finance, and their charitable contributions to human society are some of the greatest in history and continue to this day. Or perhaps the Rothschilds paid us to say that, so you won't figure out that they're secretly working for the Zeta Reticuli aliens who definitely don't want to eat your brains. 4. Rockefeller family. If there's a name synonymous with the international power and intrigue of the Rothschilds, it's the Rockefellers. John D. Rockefeller was born in rural New York to a father who was a con man and a mother who was deeply religious. Unlike his Schuckster family, John was often described as a serious, polite, and honest young man. And at age 17, he began working as a bookkeeper at a small produce farm. Working long hours, Rockefeller delighted in the intricacies of the work.
I think this said what? It's only covering like 5 of the families. Where I want to delve into this more about like the Illuminati and the bloodlines and like all that shit one day. So consider this like an add-on to Friday the 13th. I lost that video. I can't find it again right now on stream. It took me a little bit to find earlier. My apologies. This goes a lot deeper and there is more to this. And it's what it is. It's how this world is ran.
Work, yet had a keen mind for finances and budgeting. Seeing an opportunity with the advent of the internal combustion engine, Rockefeller started a business partnership with a friend and his brothers, going into the business of refining oil at a time when everybody else was busy trying to pump it out of the ground. The discovery of giant oil reserves in Texas and the growing exploitation of oil in the Middle East made it clear that this new resource was the wave of the future, and yet very little infrastructure existed for the actual refining of oil into fuel and other products. The oil gold rush had seen entrepreneurs open up prospecting and drilling companies around the world, but a growing need.
And isn't it interesting that when that unfortunate day happened in September back in 2001, all of the flights stopped. But who was our president? Who comes from an oil family. And he had certain people flown out on private jets. Isn't that interesting?
For oil processing was being unmet. This is where Rockefeller and the family came into play. Founding Standard Oil in 1870, Rockefeller's wealth exploded, and he would go on to end up controlling 90% of America's oil pipelines and refineries.
Jesus. That's a fucking monopoly. There's a reason monopolies, well, they're supposed to be like not okay here. Look at waste management. We've only got one choice for the trash. Most people is waste management, right? Do you know the way my garbage cans go out? It's behind everyone's car. And we have like apartment parking in our townhomes. Literally, the guy didn't take our recycling one week because it was 2 feet too far over. It was too far away from him to get it. And that guy makes like probably $35 an hour. And the recycling only comes every other week. So we went a month without having our recycling emptied, which they charge you for whether you use it or not. And fun fact, the large majority of recycling does not actually get recycled. It's a fucking scam. It's a fucking scam.
His family's monopoly was broken up by antitrust laws in 1911. The Rockefellers
Yes, into the Mystic, the Astors, yes.
continued to hold on to a large share of national oil production industry. At the time of his death in 1937, John D. Rockefeller was valued at about $340 billion in today's dollars, or 4 times more than Bill Gates. However, in the time since the record high, a rise in international competition competition and lack of a similar talent for finances by Rockefeller's descendants has seen the family wealth plummet down to an estimated $11 billion, though somehow we suspect
What
that they
the
get
hell?
along just fine with only $11 billion.
Yeah, but from like that, damn. Wow.
3. The Morgan family. Born to a banker, it's no surprise that John Pierpont Morgan would follow in his father's footsteps and become a banker himself. However, unlike his father, John would go on to found one of the world's most important financial institutions, J.P. Morgan and Company. During a scare in 1893 over the outflow of the U.S.'s surplus gold to foreign nations, the U.S. economy
You notice most of these families are coming up in the Victorian times, like the mid 1850s to like late 1800s. Interesting.
looked set to plummet. But in these dire times, John saw an opportunity that no others
Good
did,
night, Chair
putting
Bear.
together a syndicate of bankers, which included the Rothschilds. Morgan used U.S. bonds to buy back gold from foreign investors, thus restoring public faith in the dollar and stabilizing the economy. This gold and bond exchange, however, allowed Morgan to effectively control the U.S. gold supply, which let him finance the creation of U.S. Steel and General Electric, while buying out all competitors, effectively taking over two of the most important financial sectors of the entire nation, steel and electricity. Morgan's control over the nation's gold supply at the time, when the national economy and most global economies as well were tied to the gold standard, allowed Morgan to manipulate.
Dangerous things happen, like with the whole waste management thing. I can't choose. They can give shitty service and customer service and not fucking care, right? Because it's a monopoly. That is your only choice. When you have one choice for any product or service, it's dangerous, as Creepy Dave would say, which we'll be watching on Sunday. Is dangerous because then they don't have to give a shit. Because what used to keep good businesses, would be knowing there were competitors people could take their money to. So if your product, your service, your reliability wasn't what it should be or what people wanted or expected, they'd go somewhere else. And speaking of the Victorian era, I should cover that one sometime because they did the fucking arsenic in the wallpaper, putting weird shit in the bread. Oh my, y'all. You know, just hop down to the pharmacy on the corner. Oh, the baby's got a cold? Sure. Just go get some cough medicine that had morphine in it for babies. Oh my God. The Victorian times were wild.
Manipulate the economy to raise or lower the value of the dollar and consumer prices. And despite ensuring a measure of fiscal responsibility, this is overwhelmingly why the gold standard is a bad thing, no matter what your belligerently libertarian uncle posts.
Oh, and to the Mystic, we're going to talk about all the families one day because, yes, they're all on there.
It's on your Facebook wall every other week. Known as an unethical and cutthroat
And fun fact, Anderson Cooper is a Vanderbilt
businessman, Morgan bought out, bullied out, or outcompeted any competitors by slashing jobs, reducing wages, and generally doing away with anything even remotely related to workplace safety. If it wasn't generating money, it wasn't worth his time. And after all, the nation was full of peasants to replace those killed or maimed in horrific industrial accidents. With no minimum wage laws or workplace safety standards, Morgan effectively built an empire on heaps and heaps of exploitation and human misery. Which, by the way, is why minimum wage and workplace safety legislation are important things to have. Sometimes government regulations are,
as well as child labor laws. None of that shit existed back in the day. A
good thing to have, though we tend to forget that since we're so far separated from the misery of the Industrial Revolution and its mass exploitation of the average worker, in modern times not much has changed, with JP Morgan widely blamed for helping spread the practices of predatory lending, which led to the 2008 global financial crash.
I was gonna fucking say, look what they did in 2007, 2008. Lending to people they shouldn't have, doing balloon payments on mortgages. What happened? They fucked around and found out. And then our government's like, no worries. Here's a shit ton of money. We'll bail you out. Bailed out all the banks. No repercussions. Wow. Must be nice.
Rumors of the Morgan family being war profiteers and generally banking on any human misery that will make them a single penny are popular. And you know what? Given the family's past, this time it's clear that if anybody is cooperating with the aliens from Zeta Reticuli to eat your brains, it's definitely the Morgans. Yet with such a commanding grip on the global economy, there's little the individual consumer can do to avoid engaging in a JP Morgan-backed business. 2. DuPont family. Sired by a French immigrant who emigrated to the United States.
Who started the DuPont company, who did some shady ass shit. Shady. Like, I don't know, maybe I'll start like another stream day, like once every 2 weeks, where we just talk about like stuff like that, like the DuPont company dumping toxic chemicals and, you know, Monsanto. Oh, fucking Monsanto. Y'all. Grow your own food. Grow your own food.
It's in the 1800s. The DuPont family has built an empire based on manufacturing and the distribution of industrial chemicals and military
Yay,
munitions.
gunpowder!
Initially establishing the family business as a gunpowder manufacturer, DuPont quickly became the largest supplier of gunpowder to the U.S. military and would go on to begin creating dynamite in industrial proportions. Like so many other...
Have you guys heard about the glitter thing? Where there's this like one company, Glitter X, and some guy was like touring the facility and he's like, who's your biggest buyer of glitter? And they're like, we can't say. And they're like, what is it used for? And they're like, we can't tell you, but like if you saw it, you wouldn't know it's glitter. And it's so secretive, the process and who it's for, that you can't, people aren't even allowed. Like there's only certain people that are, they have to do like a security clearance to like work in that part of the factory. People, they wouldn't let this guy like even near the machines to like hear how it was being made. And it's thought to be, I believe it's the US military is the biggest buyer of glitter, which makes me wonder, what are they doing with the glitter? What's going on with the glitter? But like the guy said, if you saw it, you wouldn't know it's glitter. What is going on with the glitter? Because if you don't think they're not putting, listen, chemtrails are real. You can't tell me otherwise. You don't even want to know what they put in the air and the food and the. I digress.
Monopolies. The DuPont monopoly was broken up in the early 1900s under the Sherman Antitrust Act, but the family still managed to maintain a huge market share of the global munitions industry, having supplied nearly 40% of all the munitions used by Allied forces during the First World War. Unlike the Morgan family, however, the DuPonts felt at least some obligation to the nation they were profiting from, and so during World War II, when the U.S. government needed help producing plutonium for the war-ending Manhattan Project, the DuPont company designed and built one of the largest plutonium plants in the country, all while keeping it an absolute secret to prevent the Axis powers from...
Do you guys know about the Manhattan? No, not the Manhattan Project. The Philadelphia experiment. Do you guys know about the Philadelphia experiment? That shit is... we're going to talk about it one day. They made a movie about it in the 80s with Aidan Quinn. Was it Aidan Quinn? Very cute. It was wild. Wild.
Discovering the U.S.'s research. In the 1950s, after the Soviets exploded their first atomic bomb, the DuPont company once more cooperated with the U.S. government to help America develop the hydrogen bomb, hoping to help the U.S.'s edge over their Soviet competitors. Working hand in hand with the U.S. government, DuPont helped focus the efforts of the nation's scientists, all while being handsomely compensated by the U.S. government, of course. The DuPonts may be the second most powerful family in the world, but are surprisingly the subject of very few wild-eyed conspiracy theories, except for one. Blamed for helping spur the U.S.'s prohibition of hemp and cannabis in 1937 in order to protect its paper and nylon manufacturing, the DuPonts have often been the target of those who see overly restrictive anti-marijuana laws as unfair and needless. The widespread use of hemp as a manufacturing product would, after all, cut into DuPont's earnings. Yet if marijuana was legalized nationally, there's little doubt that DuPonts wouldn't simply immediately engage in the growing and processing.
No, there's a reason the U.S. government has made drogos illegal. There's a reason.
processing of hemp products. And with their vast wealth to back their entrepreneurial
It's not because they're bad. Look, people are going to get their hands on what they're going to get their hands on. They're going to do whatever they want to do. And never mind one of the most depressive, addictive, life-altering, soul-crushing that will affect everybody around them. Drugs is not only sold everywhere you go, but is advertised, and it's, oh no, it's alcohol. Alcohol is the worst thing, and I need to redo my stream on the spiritual effects of alcohol and drogos. Because you want to open yourself up to some shit, fuck with the Ouija board, drink and do drugs.
real efforts, they would be doing so from a commanding lead versus
Hey,
any other
B-Wash,
competitor.
Astro.
1. The Bush family. Best known for Presidents George W. Bush and George Bush Sr., the Bush family began its climb to international power.
Yeah, so this is just like 5 powerful families. It's not like Illuminati families, which, you know what? I'm going to dedicate a whole stream to that.
With Prescott Sheldon Bush, a U.S. banker and senator. For years, the family was accused of hugely profiteering from World War II and for having established businesses with
Lots of families did. The royal family did. Lots of businesses did. They supported Germany in their bullshit. Oh yeah, no. Bushes, the royal family, yeah, they were all you know, not everything is always as it seems. That's all I'm saying.
corporations that financed Hitler's government, and the reveal of declassified documents in 2003 showed several questionable transactions that could have been in violation of the Trading with Enemies Act. However, after it was revealed in 1943 that a Polish mining interest Prescott Bush was invested in was using forced labor from Auschwitz, Bush distanced himself and engaged in the collection of funds for victims of the war. The rest of the Bush family hasn't escaped scrutiny, though, with both presidents having been blamed for profiting from the wars that started under their watch. These allegations
Skull and bones. Skull and bones. There's a reason all of these politicians and rich, powerful people all belong to all of these same little secret societies. Yep. They ain't sitting around eating bonbons talking about sports. I'll say that.
may be a bit more of a stretch than those against Prescott Bush, however, as it's a well-known fact that George Bush Sr. was very reluctant about starting a war with Iraq, and it was the consistent prodding from Britain that finally spurred him into action. Whatever the case,
Because they're a Texas oil family, and that's going to reach over into the Middle East and their oil. So, yeah.
having had 2 members become presidents of the most powerful nation on earth has garnered the family international prestige and connections, making them without a doubt the single most powerful family alive today. Which of these families is truly the most?
All right, not the direction I wanted to go into, but interesting nonetheless. So, how do we feel about Friday the 13th? I think it's a great day. I love a Friday the 13th, especially in October, especially when it falls before my birthday, which is on Monday. So, I love it. I've always loved it. I love a Friday the 13th in October. Like, it's just, it's apropos, it's poetic, it's fitting, you know? I don't think I can see where superstition, like, you know, the things we saw, like, yeah, okay. I think it's more just people being like, oh, it's Friday the 13th. The individual superstitions about Friday itself and the number 13, and then you combine those 2 things. Okay, cool, I get it. The number 13, meh. I don't know. You know, and if you are superstitious about it, or you're just like, not my favorite date, that's fine too. Again, all viewpoints and opinions are welcome here. I pride myself on that. I pride my channel on that. It's fun. It's fun. But yes, we will talk about the Illuminati, those particular families. I do have I watch a lot of videos, right? In between keeping up with like all the NIGS, Gore World, whatever, even though I haven't covered Chantal and Amber in a long time. Which, do you guys want me to cover them here and there? I don't. I don't know. Let me know. I watch a lot of videos about a lot of stuff. I have in the past. I have a lot of audiobooks I'm trying to listen to. And so, ooh. She is Frankenbeans. Amber is very boring. And I know she just moved into her new place, so I'm kind of interested, and I might dip in on her personally. Chantel, right now I don't want to touch. We're with what's going on in the Middle East and the things I've seen her say. A great man once said, "Who do you want to win this war?" And his response was, "I want people to stop dying." And I want people to stop dying, and I don't want anybody to get hurt. And I know, again, that's a very simplified, even ignorant viewpoint on things. I love people. I love people. I love talking to people. I love meeting people. I love hanging out with people. And I just want people to be okay. And I send my love and all the good vibes to anybody that needs it right now. Yeah, I've got to be careful with Nick, though, because I've got to start screening his streams because I'm not going to get hit on my channel because he's numbnuts on his other platforms. So what? Kate Winslet, you goddamn legend, you. Amber's boring until she gets Meth Mom and Aunt Tammy in her vlogs. There's no point in watching. I mean, facts, Kate. Kate always coming through. I love you so much. Oh my God. Yeah, that's what I kind of figured. No, I'm fine. Listen, I'm fine. The Spoopy, whatever, this side of my channel, and then like the Nagsy side, and then when Azza and I can get our schedules going, he'll dip in with the Chelsea Lees. Always fun. But I do want to cover J-Bay one day because the shit coming out of this girl's mouth. Hotels need to make their hallways wider to accommodate the death fats. Ma'am, I need you to reevaluate the one brain cell you have left. Get off the internet while you do it and shut the fuck up in the meantime. Make hallways wider. Ma'am, I can't. Oh my God. So Friday the 13th, not as scary as we thought. The number 13, not really bad luck. Again, in numerology, it's a feminine number. But again, like the feminine side of things is, between the masculine and feminine, the feminine is usually looked down upon in certain areas. Even though we are women, are the givers of life and the nurturers and the caretakers, but it's whatever. It's whatever. So yeah. And we will delve into the Illuminati families. I'll start looking into the Tartarians. I'm not sure what I'm going to do next Friday because, again, what I had planned for a lot of stuff, I was like, oop, I don't know. Oop. And even then, talking about that stuff, I do have to be very careful. But the Tartarians and the mud flood is wild. Y'all ever wonder why we had all these like real intricate, like fancy fucking buildings? And then like one day architects were like, nah, we're gonna make everything square. You ever wonder that? Because I have. And that's where the Tartarian mud flood comes in. It's a wild theory. Maybe plausible. I don't know. We're going to talk about that coming up. my next members only stream, which I'm going to try to do next Thursday because it's spoopy time, is going to be Papa Maxwell. Hammy, I know you've been waiting. Thank you for your patience. I'm either going to do his lecture on like language, which is incredibly interesting. Or there's another one. I've got to kind of go through them again. Lex, that is how you spell it. Tartarian. Yes. Okay. No, look it up. Look up the Tartarians and the Mud Flood. It is wild, but so interesting. And this is what we talk about here. So, yeah. I thank y'all for being here. Thank you to my amazing moderators. Thank you to everyone that shared a member milestone, sent a super chat, left a thumbs up. You comment after. My replay crew, my lurkers here and on my regular streams. Y'all don't know what it means to me, how much it helps me out. I really, really, really appreciate you. Tomorrow I'm off tomorrow. Gonna be painting the nails and doing some laundry. And Sunday, it's my birthday stream. My actual birthday is Monday, but tomorrow we are doing my birthday stream, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 5 p.m. Eastern. We're gonna be here for a while. We're gonna watch some fun videos. We're gonna have some people come up. We might have like a Belinda. We might have a Fedora. Might have some people stop by and chat. Death is hosting it. She asked a month ago. She's like, "Can I host your birthday stream?" I'm like, "Yes." So we're gonna be up here having a good goddamn time. I sure hope you can stop by and hang out and just relax and have some fun. I appreciate you guys again so much. I love doing this. I enjoy it so much, and I'm consistently trying to get better and be entertaining and informative and educational. And it means the world to me that any of you show up and hang out and chat. And I always want you guys to know how grateful I am, because I really, really am. Okay. I'm going to stop getting emotional, and I'm going to go hang out with my dog and do some dishes and be a productive human, unlike some people. Nags, I'm looking at you. Okay, bye.